New Artist Spotlight Podcast.
Welcome, everybody, to the New Artist Spotlight Podcast. I am excited to be back, and I am Wilko Wilkes.
And I am Big OG, you know me. And if you ever tuned in before, you know what we're here to do. We're here to interview some artists from the New Artist Spotlight family of playlists. But today, we're doing something a little different. We have a very special guest who has brought along a couple more very special guests with him. So today, let's jump right in. Let's get into it. We have Ed Eagle, we have Willie, and we have Pedro.
Hi, Pedro. I'm seeing you over here now for the first time. Looking good. Hi, Willie.
That's what we like to hear. And so, thanks for coming on. We're excited to speak to you. So, Ed, if we start with yourself, do you want to tell us a little bit about what the three of you have been doing recently? And is this the YITBOS?
Yeah. Can you guys see it behind me? I'm not sure if you can see the license plate from Florida. It says YITBOS.
Oh, yeah, man. That's good.
It's a fraternity thing. So I'll do a quick little story. So the three of us, besides myself, so four of us, fraternity brothers, Delta Sigma Phi from Cal U, representing Cal U. They changed the name of our university. I won't even say what the new name is now. It's BS.
Yeah, don't.
Yeah, I'm not going to say it. So, but we're all from Cal U. So Willie is a drummer and Pedro is a guitarist. And my best friend, Cliff, you've heard me talk about him. There would be no NAS without him. He's the one who inspired me to put out the team, and NAS kind of started from there. But we're talking about in the late 80s, early 90s when I met these guys. I pledged in the fall of 89, my fraternity. Willie pledged in the spring of 89, Pedro in the fall of 87, Cliff in the fall of 91. You remember these kind of things when you're in a fraternity. And so these guys, Willie and Pedro, were in a band called The Need. And they were like my first 2 or 3 years of university. I live in Canada now. We call it university, but for you in America, in college. My first 3 years of college, they were kind of like in the biggest band. And I was roommates with both of these guys. I lived in the fraternity house with Pedro. His bunk bed was literally like this far. I could touch his bunk bed from under my bunk bed. That's where he slept. And Willie, we lived in a different house called Kips with another one of our buddies. So another, basically like a second fraternity house. Also lived in the bed right above me. I went to these guys' gigs for how many, like probably 50 of your gigs in our house and Theta Design, other places. These guys never knew I could sing, none of them, until I released the team. I was such a wimp that I never did it in front of these guys. Like, even though they were literally in the same bedroom as I was. I usually do like one or two covers a year, but I've been trying to cut down on them. So I wanted to do something that was going to be like challenging vocally, and nothing's harder than doing Rooster by Lane Staley. But I also wanted to get some, I want to bring people into it. Like, you guys know my brother-in-law, JHM Jeff. I kind of tricked him into releasing music, and you see how awesome it's been now. I'm like, hey, man, come join this. And I figured if I could give Willie and Pedro and my best friend Cliff a little taste of releasing music again, they would catch the bug, and maybe they want to join NAS and do something like that too. We were watching like an Unplugged video that came on. It was kind of like when I did Outside by Stain. The song came on. I'm like, I don't know if I could do that, which is, of course, made me want to do it. Or like Superstition by Stevie Wonder. I tried to like find the hardest thing I could do. And after I figured that I could actually sing it, I'm like, all right, well, I can do all the instruments myself, but that's kind of lame. Why don't I get a hold of my buddies? So I got a hold of Willie, Pedro, and Cliff, and they were all down. Cliff's been on several of my songs, but this is the first time that I've actually not even seen Pedro and Willie, their faces. So it's been like 20 plus years since I've actually spoken to these guys. I hope we're going to do the hog roast this summer. So Jake, I hope you're watching. Got to do the
I hope so too.
So I'll turn it over to these guys. So guys, maybe you could talk a little bit about your musicianship and how this came together.
Well, yes, we played together a long time ago. I don't know, early 80s or late 80s, early 90s. And then I continued playing on and off. I think the last time we played together was 10 years ago, Jim. Like, I think at that reunion or homecoming or something. Anyways, that was with a different band, Lumpy Gravy. But then things, you have kids and all that starts slowing things down, and all out of the blue, Ed calls me and asks me to do this song. And I'm like, well, I've got to figure out how to use all the new technology. Last time I recorded anything, it was on tape and it was with a analog board. So finally figured it out with Ed's help. And I'm very grateful he gave me the call, because now I'm working on some new stuff. Planning on sending some stuff to him. Hopefully he can sing on it, and I'm looking forward to it. So
That's awesome. This is what he does. What he does. And what about yourself then, Pedro? And also, like, I want to ask, how is it for you? Kind of, have you been following Ed's progress and everything that he's been doing with New Artist Spotlight? Because he's really built an amazing family, which he is the Don at the top of, and an amazing community. So yeah, I want to say, like, tell us a bit about your experience and have you been watching Ed's progress, and how is it for you, kind of seeing that?
I remember when Ed had started the New Artist Spotlight channel, and he had posted on Facebook that he had done so, and he was talking about when he had released the team, and I listened to the song and I was really blown away by it. It was pretty relevant, I thought. It still is now. I've really enjoyed, watching Ed's, music career sort of blossom, through this medium that has been created by Spotify and New Artist Spotlight. And I feel that there is so much opportunity for independent artists on this channel to really, express themselves the way that they want to, and not necessarily because a record label handed them a song and said, here, we want you to do this, or, we want you to do that. That they're able to create and be creative. And I really feel like this is only going to grow stronger as time goes by. And I'm just excited to be a part of a small part of, Ed's success, really. And I'm very grateful to have been given this opportunity, and hopefully everything,
Pedro's nervous. I can tell.
Yeah, I'm a little bit nervous.
This isn't normal, Pedro.
I think he's saying he hopes it keeps going and we do something else.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Ed.
Hey, can I interject here, guys? I'm almost literally in tears. I haven't seen these guys in so long. I love these guys. Like, I don't think I can't explain. Like, our fraternity was like, Willie and I escaped with our life. Like, literally, he knocked on my door. Our house was on fire in the middle of the night. I heard him screaming, "Eagle, Eagle, let's go!" Like, I thought he was kidding around at first. Literally, I opened up the door. Our house is on fire. There was black smoke in front of my face. I grabbed Willie's back and we walked out the door together. Like, I wouldn't be alive. You know what I mean? Like, I love these guys. Like, these are my effing brothers, man. Like, we're tight. We got brands. I know Willie and I have brands on our arms for our Delta Sigma Phi. I think Pedro already had one too. Like, we are like, we're a bonded, man. We're a crazy bond. Like, for me to be able, like, to hear these guys say, "Oh, I'm so appreciative, man. I love these guys. I'll do anything for these guys." I couldn't have dreamed for a better scenario to get these guys back into, like, playing music and getting to talk to them again, and just hearing them talk and hearing that Pittsburgh accent again that I never get to hear up here in Canada. I mean, it's beautiful. I'm heartfelt right now. I just feel so good to see these guys. Like, I haven't seen them in 20 some years. Like, all we've done is chat on Facebook Messenger and send stuff back and forth. I mean, Pedro is being really shy right now, but he completely changed this song. It was just going to be acoustic, and he sent this solo in this middle section that was just blew me away. And by the way, Pedro is one of those guitarists who can play every song note for note. Like, they used to play Comfortably Numb live. If you guys like your closer, that's probably one of the greatest guitar solos of all time. And dude crushed it live in front of all of our friends, hundreds of people, like a packed fraternity house or wherever we were, and note for note. And I was standing right next to him, the guitar guy, so I'm standing right in front of the guy who's my roommate. So we're watching him play every note for note, and it's just like, these guys they were the badass musicians at our university, and they're some of my best buddies. And just to watch them perform was awesome. So having a chance to play with them, so thanks for letting us do this podcast, guys. So this is almost like a family reunion. That's how I feel.
Yeah. So obviously this is gonna be dope. This is gonna be a heartfelt moment, right? Especially saying you haven't seen each other for so long, and it's just kind of like for these guys, like, out of the blue, just on a whim, like, oh, okay. So, normally we would ask, like, artists, like, oh, so, like, what's your ambition as a band or a group, right? But for you guys, I guess the question I would want to ask is, from Ed reaching out to you guys, well, one, how active in your own, like, musicianship have you been as of late? And then from here, like, what are you guys planning to do? Is it kind of I'm pursuing something, or I love music, I'll do it when there's an opportunity and, fit it in around life, or just kind of where are you guys at right now as far as your own musicianship?
For me, it pushed me to start building my chops back up, to start playing every day again. And so, because if you've been away from it for a long time, you were at a certain level and then you go to do it again and you want to be better or as good as you were. And the older you get, that's harder to do. So yeah, it's pushed me to start playing every day. I want to get out and start playing live again. And I've started looking into that. Started working on some new stuff, solo stuff. I've got about a gazillion, 2 or 3 measures of songs that I'm trying to finish a couple of those and get it to these guys. I couldn't think of anybody better to play on it. So this has like fired me up again. So it turned out way better than I could have ever imagined. And, as many things as I've played on, honestly, this is the one I'm the most proud of. And so it's definitely a good way to kick off my second career.
Nice.
That's amazing to hear, really. Yeah, and what about yourself, Pedro?
So I've been playing every day, pretty much every day that I can for the last several years. I play at least an hour, hopefully 2 hours a day, and it'll just be whatever guitar I pick up and whatever sort of thing I'm kind of trying to figure out or experiment with sounds.
You're a serious musician then, like you've got a lot of talent, and obviously it shines through on this record as well.
Thank you.
So have you got your own sort of like solo artist name or anything like that, or do you just constantly play around? And where are you at with that?
My artist name is James Carl, so that's my name. Pedro is sort of like the nickname that I was given.
How did you come up with that?
I didn't come up with it. Somebody else came up with it. Well,
you don't get to pick your own fraternity names.
You don't get to. No.
You're called a goon. You're a goonie. You get told, but you get what you get, and you don't. You're
lucky. Yeah, you're lucky you get a name.
And it sticks forever.
Yep, and be grateful.
Anyway, I've sort of been building up my bedroom studio for the last several years. Buying tube guitar amps, and I recently bought this piece of gear that lets me crank the volume up on my guitar rig, and have it just go right to headphones and right to my converter that goes into the computer. And it's been really really great to be able to experiment with sounds again at full volume and not trying to be playing with like a set of small computer speakers. As far as like creativity goes, I've been really sort of like at the beginning when I'll pick up my guitar, I'll just sort of try and just jam and try and think up some kind of riff, and generally I can come up with a couple of those a day, and then I promptly forget about them because I don't put them onto some sort of preservation thing, So I probably lost, who knows how many like actual like, it's like that song Tribute, this isn't anything like that song. But it's been really great. I've been playing more than ever lately. I've been in, several bands around the area, just, playing in bars, and, I've done some acoustic open stage stuff that has been really fun here in Morgantown, West Virginia, college town. WVU is here, so there's a lot of students and a lot of people that are kind of into the more of the non-mainstream kind of stuff. That's really what I've been up to.
Cool. So I mean, it's good that you've been consistent and always still working and growing. But one question I feel like I have to ask is, please tell us the most embarrassing story about Ed that you can.
Well, you stole my question, Origin.
Wow.
I don't think we can. I know I can't say the story I have, but your 21st birthday. But so.
Oh yeah, none of that, please. It's a family podcast.
Yeah. So for those who don't know around the world, on your 21st birthday is the first day you're allowed to legally drink in Pennsylvania, where we lived at the time. Funny thing was, I remember that night, John, going in and telling the bartender that it was my 21st birthday, and they'd be like, "You've been coming in here for 2 years. What do you mean it's your 21st birthday?" So that was fun. That I'm sneaking in there all the time. So John and Willie and Pedro are older than I am. They're at least 2 or 3 years older than I am. So I was one of the young kids. I had to sneak into bars to see these guys or to go drinking with them. Usually I stayed at the fraternity house.
And you gotta have something. Pedro, what do you got? Give us some dirt on that.
Oh man,
you gotta get the stories in.
I don't think I have anything that's suitable for
right.
For
it's like that's what all the story I'm thinking of. I can't say.
All right. I
wouldn't do that.
I guess that's fair enough. we're not going to get the dirt that we came here for. So, Willie and Pedro, how did you guys kind of get into music? Because I know you guys are saying you guys were in college, you guys were killing it. So, where did you guys start off? Where were your journeys beginning at?
Well, for me, I started in grade school playing, snare drum. And I was very fortunate that I had a great drum instructor in high school who pushed us to play live. So we had a live band and got to use all the school's equipment to play out when we were in like 8th grade. We were playing bars and stuff. And then actually the bass player and the sax player, I went to high school with. So we came all the way up through. And then in college, we finally started playing music, on a more professional basis. And then, met Jim in college, and the rest is history.
And Jim, how about you?
I've been involved with music since I was a little kid. My parents had bought my sister a piano, and she really didn't take to it too much, but kind of did. And it was awfully out of tune. It was this old upright piano that some of the keys were missing the basing on them and stuff. And, some of them stuck when you played them, but it was good enough. And I kind of, taught myself how to play some basic things. Before that, I'd, been playing an instrument in the band. And I think that was about when I was maybe 10 or 11 years old. And then when I was 13, my parents finally bought me a guitar. I'd been asking them to buy me one for a while, and they finally did. And I had an uncle that played guitar in a country band, so he kind of taught me some things, taught me some chords, taught me Stairway to Heaven. Gave me a sheet that had, all the positions for the diatonic and pentatonic scales, and I kind of just tried to memorize those and the patterns, and just kind of go from there. The discipline thing kind of came later. Disciplined is, being able to play, but being able to sort of restrain and stay in your lane is sort of something that I've been working on. I think, working on Rooster with Ed kind of helped me a lot with that, because playing the same part over and over with the same instrument to just kind of get different sounds is not as easy as you think. And just kind of locking that in took a little bit of time. But I feel like I'm a lifelong learner when it comes to music. I really just, like playing whatever. I'll put Pandora on, just shuffle and just play along with it. And if I don't know the song, if it's something I don't like, I'll just fast forward, or I'll sit there and I'll just kind of play along with it.
Pedro mentioned his sister there. This is what a tight group we have. I mentioned the fire at our house. So that night, we escaped that house. All I had was a pair of shorts and my shoes. And his sister, his real life sister, is my big sister, which means in the sorority. So she was the one, like when you're a pledge, you have like one girl in a sorority who like kind of hooks up, like they're like kind of like your big sister, like they're like your mom, that kind of stuff. So the night our fraternity house burned down, she let me crash her. I was still like 20 years old. I was a young kid. She let me crash at her house, and she had just bought me a hoodie with the Delta Sigma Phi letters across it. And that's literally all I had. That was the only shirt I had on my back at that moment in my life. Everything else had burned up. I had a pair of shoes on, underwear, shorts. I had no shirt. She gave me that shirt that day. I still have it. I should have brought it down. I completely forgot. So his real life sister was my big sister in the sorority. So Robin, love you. Thank you so much. You gave me the only shirt I had on my back as of that day. So we're tight. We're a tight group. So it's emotional seeing these guys.
I love that. Yeah, it's great when you. I think music's all about community as well, isn't it? And like I've started playing recently. One of my best mates plays guitar, and I actually started before I was doing the rapping, I was doing like some acoustic duets with him. And recently, I've got him coming round to mine and laying down some guitar tracks so I can make beats from them. And he's similar to you, James, in that he's not very disciplined in terms of like he will noodle for days and come up with loads of amazing riffs and never get them down. And then when I try and get him to play in time, he will drift off and start playing something else. But I love it, man. It's so cool. Like the ideas that come out and the sense of community when you're playing with friends is just unreal. And I was going to mention, Ed, I noticed you've put a track out with Mercury Teardrop recently, who me and Origin have also previously worked with, which is amazing. Like, I love the track as well, man. It's great. And another new style for you, I feel.
Yeah. I want to ask you guys, what do you think that had a little bit more of a hip hop flavor? I never would have done that. Like, that was not my idea. Like, he actually, Brad would never want me to share it with you guys, but he did it first. He gave me that like vocal melody. And I'm like, wow, that's not something like I would ever do. But then I was trying to think like, how can I mean, fortunately I'm from an urban area, so it was actually came a little more easier than maybe I would have expected it to come. But yeah, it was that was fun, man. That was a lot of fun. Origin, what do you think? Did it come out all right? I wasn't trying to do like a flow or anything, but just the way that he wrote it, it kind of happened to be like that timing seemed to be. Unless you probably haven't heard the song yet, so I don't know. If you didn't, then
I haven't heard it yet. And listen, dude, I have a 1-year-old. This kid is a terrorist. Okay, I'm trying. I'm holding on.
Dude, I'm pretty salty about this. Like seriously.
I'm gonna hear it right after this though, because now I have to go back and I have to critique because now it's both of you guys, and I knew it was coming, but I heard this song, but I didn't hear that one.
I appreciate you doing your homework at least.
Hey, I've been rolling solo for a long time. Okay,
I know, man. I know. I get it.
Listen,
Wilko only comes up for the All-Star shows now.
Yeah, apparently. I mean, and then we're only even able to get three of the All-Stars. I guess one guy's a superstar. We didn't get to have all 4 of them, but you know.
Oh yeah, I didn't even want to. Yeah. Oh, that's it. I gotta say, my best friend is not here. I have to remind everyone that Cliff opened up for LL, Wu-Tang, Rage Against the Machine, and he's a big leaguer. So I'm gonna send my dear brother Andres a couple really unflattering pictures of him that he can maybe post and maybe put right here, and right here of the legendary superstar, Mr. Goodfoot, Clifford Foster. Also one of our fraternity brothers, who is a ridiculous musician. I mean, these guys are great musicians. They don't know. They'll tell you that Cliff is like, his band should have been national. They still get played on the radio in Pittsburgh, right? 420. They get Who Got It gets still played like all the time on the X. So he's too big time for NAS. Someday we'll catch up to him.
He'll be begging you to get into NAS in a few years' time.
Never. His ego is so massive to think that his little baseball best buddy would be the guy doing music is you can't penetrate that ego, so it's not gonna happen. These guys know.
He's always welcome here. We love him, Cliff.
Did you also charge Mercury the $1 million or no? Because me and Wilko charged him $1 million in our currencies each. So
I did not, and I didn't know it was going to be that kind of. You have to hear the song. It's not like a rap. I don't know. People were saying it's kind of like a. Who would you compare it to? Like a Rage kind of, but more.
When I was listening to it, I thought it was like a bit of sort of Deftonesy.
Yeah, people keep saying Deftones. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I actually thought Marilyn Manson at first, but he's disgraced, so maybe we're not allowed to.
Yeah, definitely not a style. I mean, the chorus was right in my wheelhouse, right? That was something that was easy to do. But the other part, like the flowing kind of lyrics, I liked it. I never would have thought of it. And whenever I heard it, like he sent them to me, like, man, I don't know, this is not me at all. Like I don't want to front like I'm something I'm not, right? So whenever I did it, it actually came out okay. So I mean, Brad is a genius too. Speaking of Brad's who are genius, the guy who produced this song, or actually mixed and mastered, I guess, Rooster. Willie, do you want to talk about the drums? How they sounded, like how great those drums sounded?
Yeah, I mean, well, when we started out, like I said earlier, I had to learn how to use, all the record, and then playing. These guys were like, "Well, we need your drum part first," and all I had was a click track. I'm like, okay. I tried to do that. Well, then they sent me a little guide track, guitar track, and then I went and bought some more equipment, and that way I could mic it. And I'm like, I sent it in. It kept changing stuff. I'm like, no, I don't like that. Don't like that. And then got everything done, all the tracks sent in, and I kept asking Ed, like, tell him to do this or change this. And I tell you what, I cannot believe the sound that he got from what I sent in as far as just the sound of the drums. I mean, he did an amazing job.
Amazing job. Dude, that's a really hard song to do drums on because it's so slow.
Oh, yeah.
Plodding song.
When I first started recording the song, I tried to kind of play like their live version that Ed had sent me and said, hey, we're going to kind of do this version. So I kind of held back a little bit. Well, then I got a track of Pedro's guitars. I'm like, oh, we're doing it that way. so then I completely changed, and that's when Ed sent me a text. He's like, oh my God, that was so much better. I'm like, well, I'm glad it worked out. But yeah, that was one of the most interesting things about the project, is seeing how it evolved for everybody from the beginning to the final product. I mean, it was just amazing, and I can't wait to do it again. So
I played the demo for some friends, and like, no, this is gonna be embarrassing for the rest of us, but I want you to hear. I kind of compared it to you guys. The rest of you will understand this too. It's kind of like it'd be like watching a movie, like a movie being made. The demo is kind of like watching a movie being made without all the cameras, like just like watching two people talking, like acting a scene without everything else that goes into the movie. So all you're hearing is basically the two actors like talking to each other, as if you would, like if you were just standing there watching them. That's kind of the demo. But then when you have someone like who mixed and mastered this, it's like, okay, now I see why Tarantino is amazing. He made these guys, So that's the difference. So I played it for some friends. I'm like, you're going to hear this, and it's not going to sound. I just want you to hear the process. I want you to hear how good this is going to sound at the end compared to the now. And it's not just because like we suck and this guy's making us sound better. It's just this is how it is. Like unless you hear it live, and even live albums are all pretty much they go in and they fix stuff. So unless you hear it perform or live, that's where I give these guys props, because these guys crushed it live. I can play fast and I can play loose, but I cannot play tight. And Pedro, I can play on the beat and that kind of stuff, but like note for note, that I've never been that guy ever. I've always wanted to be. Pedro is that guy, man. Pedro is a guitarist who plays every note on the right note every time, no mistakes. I'm telling you, I'm sitting here from me to the camera away. He's on stage watching him many times, and like, how do you do that, dude? How do you get every single freaking note right? Like my biggest stage fright is missing one note. Even when I sing one note wrong, it like kills me for the rest of the show. Like, how do you play that many notes in guitar, not miss? Like, I'm always really impressed by people who can do that. I'm a feel kind of emotion kind of guy. So like, I'm not the technical guy. So it really, I'm always impressed. So these guys, what they sent in was good. They sent in were really good. Like I said, Pedro changed the song. It was going to be acoustic, and then he's like, I just screwed around. I did this couple of these electric things, and I'm like, whoa! I guess we're changing it then. Let's try something else.
Yep, that's what I was like. I better step it up.
The way that the song sort of changed was I had done all the acoustic parts for the song, including like all the lead stuff that was in the middle. I had done it all acoustic tracked. So I had sent Ed, I think, 6 acoustic parts. The 3, main riff that goes through the entire song. And then the middle part where there was the acoustic stuff, and I did the harmonies, and I triple tracked it, and I sent that to Ed, and that was probably about maybe 10 o'clock at night or something. And it was due that day. Because Ed wanted to
yeah, we were on a deadline,
distribute the parts to everybody else. Yeah, so I'd sent them to him, and then I was like, F it, I'm just gonna see what it sounds like, and I hadn't done it yet, so I just plugged in, and it was really kind of dry, and I just recorded them really quick, and the timestamps on the file names, I did all them, and I just did one, and then change it to the next track, and then do it again, and then change it to the next track. Next thing I knew, I had like 5 more tracks, and I'm just going to send them to Ed. I had written in the email, I'm like, I know that we said that we were going to do this acoustic, but I just wanted to hear what this sounds like, and I just sent it to him, kind of like just to throw that wrench into the mix and just see what happens, right? So Ed got the email, and it was probably about 11 o'clock at night, and he's like, I got to get up at 3 a.m. to go to work. And he's like, I'll listen to this when I get up. So I'm like, all right, cool. And then I was sort of like, oh man, I wanted to see if he would listen to it like right off the bat. And it was probably like 12:30. It was, and Ed had to get up like 3 hours later. And he's like, well, he's like, this might change everything. And then I guess he had other people listen to it, and they agreed, and it sort of became more of a hybrid approach that I think ended up working out pretty well.
Did you really not listen to it that when he sent it, or did you listen to it and was like, nah, there's again in the car in the morning? And then
no. If I would have listened to it, I wouldn't have gone to sleep that night. That's the truth. I mean, it blew my mind. No, I had to get up so early, right? So I work like 4 a.m. twice a week, so I have to, or 2 or 3 times a week, so I have to go to bed. But yeah, whenever I listen to it the next morning, I'm like, wow, I guess we're doing a different song now, because this is the best part of the song. Like, this has just changed everything. Like, the part we're talking about is, if you watch the video, it's the part where all the guns are going off in the air, like the explosions in the air. It's the solo part. And it's just so wide. And what he did was, I believe, Pedro, you did like 2 or 3 different guitars and 2 or 3 different amps or something like that. And it made it all slightly different. And it was just big. It was so big. I'm like, this can't go on the cutting room floor. Like, and plus, like, the vocals are really big in this song, right? So with that in the background, I was able to like also push it up another notch and like really like let it rip. So it just worked. And then you hear Willie's drums in the second verse when they start off as like kind of like that military, like that part. It's much more apparent in our mix than it is in the original Alice in Chains mix. And then like at the end, it's like so big and everything just gets gigantic. It changed the sound completely, and it was what I wanted, man. I don't like this. I know you guys are gonna laugh, as you know, with me with NAS. I don't like to be the boss, like as much as I like to be the leader. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to say we're doing this. I like to like give people the opportunity to like, okay, here's the basic foundation of what we'd like to do, and like, and yeah, we were on a time stamp, because I was doing something with Brad. And since I made this offer to do like, hey, if anybody wants me to sing on your songs, let me know. Now I got more songs that I can possibly sing. So I'm like, I've had a lot of stuff come in lately, and I'm like, yeah, we got to get this done so we can have it released. I don't want it released after Brad's, because that's kind of a dick move for Brad. After he and I have been working on this song for like a year, so it's got to be soon. We want to get it out soon. I didn't mention, sorry, before I forget. Also, one of our other fraternity brothers, who is a pledge brother with Pedro, his name's Fred Coelho. He did an AMA. With NAS, a couple of them. He was a guitar tech for Zakk Wylde, Ozzy Osbourne. He's on tour right now with Motley Crue. He's Nikki Sixx's bass tech, and he did 2 years on tour with Alice in Chains. So we're still hoping that when he gets off tour with Motley Crue, he's going to actually share it with the guys with Alice in Chains, and hopefully they're going to share it with their fans, and it can actually blow up and bring a hell of a lot more attention to NAS. So if anyone out there wants to send an email to, anything on social media to Jerry Cantrell or Alice in Chains and say, hey, our friends did this song on New Artist Spotlight, did a cover of you guys, check it out. You know, it could bring more attention to NAS. So that's what we're hoping. My original idea for doing this song was hoping that Alice in Chains guys would hear it, they would like it. And I had actually completely forgotten that Fred had, he's been with so many bands, I'd forgotten that he actually did 2 years with Alice in Chains. So fingers crossed, this will still get a lot more play than it has so far, but it did hit number 79 in Jamaican rock tracks on Apple Music last week, so we're moving on up.
Nice. I need to check those Apple Music charts. I see everyone else doing it, but I don't know how to do that. How do you do that?
It's on an app. I'll talk to you on Discord how you can see it. It comes up a sound something. I can't remember. If I looked on my phone, I don't have my phone in my hand.
Okay, yeah. No, and I think one thing we've not done yet is introduce the video. So you've just given it the big build up. Do you want to do the formal introduction and we'll give it a spin?
Yeah, this is the video for the song Rooster by Ed Eagle and the YITBOS brothers. New Artist Spotlight.
Every path leads me to nowhere. no safe bet. The bullets scream to me from somewhere. Here they come to snuff the rooster. Ah, yeah. Yeah, here come the rooster. Yeah. You know he ain't gonna die. No, no, no. You know he ain't gonna die. Here they come to snuff the rooster. Yeah, here come the rooster. Yeah, you know he ain't gonna die. No, no, no. You know he ain't gonna die. Walking tall, machine gun man. They spit on me in my homeland. Glorious, send me pictures of my boy. Got my pills against mosquito death. My buddy's breathing his dying breath. Oh God, please, won't you help me make it through? Here they come to snuff the rooster. Oh yeah. Yeah, here come the rooster. Yeah. You know he ain't gonna die. No, no. You know he ain't gonna
How did it come together? Who put it together? And then just what was the message you guys were trying to convey with the video? I mean, how well do you think that came across?
Like Cliff was in the Navy. He actually left university to go to the Navy. My grandfather was in the Navy in World War II. Well, I think everyone, if you're American, you probably have had someone in the military or in the military currently. We have lots of fraternity brothers currently. One of my brothers, Robert Pezzi, he was after these guys. He's still in the military. We've had a lot of guys because we went to a university where it was a lot of kids that didn't have a lot of money. So there were a lot of our fraternity brothers were in the military. Our academic advisors both times were the ROTC guys. Shout out to Major Stelligis and Sergeant Butterworth. Both of our advisors were in the military. So it was I thought it was a big thing. We're talking about a military song. Like the Rooster was about Jerry Cantrell, the guitar player from Alice in Chains. It's about his dad who was serving in Vietnam. And it was one of those songs that was like anti-war without being in your face. So in a very NAS way, I tried to make a video for free, but it cost me $30. I paid $30 and I got like access to a bunch of clips, and I was able to just weave those together. I used to work at the TV station. I think Willie did too at Cal U. Mm-hmm. So I got some video editing skills from back then. I combined those clips in the ways that I thought matched the story of the song, but also I wasn't satisfied with that. So I looked up, I forget how I Googled it, but it was like intellectual anti-war quotes. It was stuff just that made you think, like intellectual reasons why war is never the right way. I understand you want to defend yourself, and again, as an American, I believe in that. The message I wanted to get across in this video, was that war sucks, but the soldiers, it's not on them, man. They're brave. They're putting their ass on the line for the rest of us. And it's bullshit whenever they come home and they got to take crap from people. And really, they're just doing. I know it's easy to say now. People say, well, the Nazis said they were just following orders too. But these people, these are my brothers and sisters, man. We know these people. These are our people. Especially if you grow up poor, the military is you. Like the military is you. There's some wealthy officers, but for the most part, the people out there fighting and dying are young, poor people who mostly just want to go to college, and the only way they can afford to go to college is to get military backing. So they'll go join the military, join the reserves. That's Cliff. That's how Cliff was in there too. I'm thinking off the top of my head, Cipriano, Ventura. I can't even think of how many guys in our Eric Crawford. Like these guys are watching the video right now, probably. So many of them were Fetzko, Tony. So many guys in Skirvitz. Skirvitz was the student government president at our university, and he got called away for the first Gulf War. He had to leave school, Dougie Skirvitz. And, I just want to make sure we give props to the guys and girls too, who are putting their life on the line without it being like explosion porn. I think when I first did the video without the quotes, it kind of came across as explosion porn. There were so many cool explosions in it. And I'm like, no, that's not what I want. I want it to be like, imagine you're in that field right there and you're watching this shit. Like I think we sometimes see soldiers as like these superhuman figures. They're not us. They're our friends. They're our brothers. They're our sisters. And they're watching these explosions and they're shitting their pants. And they're just trying to, being brave is not being afraid. It's doing it even though you are afraid. So I was trying to get that kind of message across, that the people out there fighting are not the ones that we should be, talking shit on. It's the people who are trying to make money off these people dying. So I know. There you go. There's your political statement. Guys, did you want to add anything? I basically did the video myself, so I hope they did it. I hope that they like it. They weren't offended by it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when I first saw it, and then I think we made some tweaks. I think, Pedro, you had some thoughts on the gunfire fading. But other than that, I mean, it was perfect. I was ecstatic the first time I saw the full thing. It was just amazing. And it went with the song perfectly. So
I have one quote I remember saying is, older men declare war, but it is the youth that must fight and die. And I mean, that hits. It definitely comes across, and it makes you think about really kind of just the reality that we live in. People that start wars don't fight in wars.
Exactly. And it's poor people, man. It's poor people. It's always poor people who got to take the brunt of it every time. Yeah. Every single time. Poor people fight. Rich people make money off it every time. I'm not trying to be a classist, but someone who grew up poor and has made it luckily to the middle class, it's effing BS the way we treat poor people in our country and every other country. We're the wealthiest country in the world. We shouldn't have this kind of homelessness problem. You know what I mean? We have a two-party system that doesn't care about the poor either way. It's the rich people drop little crumbs for us to fight over. And, if you're in the middle class, you have a bigger net. The people at the bottom have the smallest net, and it gets through. So it's all BS, man. And that's where the team came from. And that's kind of like, that's how I see NAS, kind of a Robin Hood kind of way, We take, we don't charge money to the people in the group, but we try to make as much money as we can off the billionaires who are doing the streaming services and are making money off the backs of the artists. So I kind of see that the same way with the military. They're just trying to, they're using the poor people. We're cannon fodder for them.
And I mean, that's definitely a topic that can kind of take its own life, and will put us multiple sessions down the line. But in the interest of time, I mean, we're talking about explosions and dramatic events and all these kind of things. And not to downplay that, but there's definitely a connection between those things and what's about to happen next. Something that can definitely seem ominous and treacherous, and just something that can definitely take your breath away if you're not fully prepared.
That was an amazing transition, by the way. I was like ready to burst out of my skin here, and then you got me down ready to laugh first. So good job, Rich. Thank you.
I do what I can.
Yeah, man, it's destructive. It's terrifying. Is it the end of the world? Who knows? We'll find out soon, because this is the infamous New Artist Spotlight Quickfire 5.
You guys know, or maybe you don't. But you're about to find out.
Pedro, you've heard of the infamous Quickfire 5, I take it?
Yes.
So you know what you have to do. You have to answer each of these 5 questions. We've got a very dastardly twist today, because we've got 3 of you on. We're actually deducting some time from you. So instead of the usual 15 seconds, you've only got 10 seconds to answer each question each. Do you want to pick which order that you want to go in? And we'll keep the same order for each question.
Oh, yeah, we have to go oldest brother to youngest brother. That's just the way it works in a fraternity. So Pedro, Willie, and then me.
All right. Bet we can definitely do that. All right. Easy enough question. Number 1, what is your favorite song of all time, personally?
Happy birthday. Because I love my birthday, and I love it when people sing to me. So I'm going to say happy birthday.
That's a first, I'm sure.
Willie,
you're up.
Willie, the clock's ticking.
Oh, happy birthday. Oh, no. My favorite song, Yesterday by the Beatles.
Ed?
We've done this before, so it's an easy one. Paranoid Android by Radiohead.
We have that done before, yeah. Okay, question 2. What is which artist was playing the best live show that you've ever been to?
Allman Brothers.
Red Hot Chili Peppers at the Underground Railroad in Morgantown in 1986.
Nice.
Man, this one's incredibly hard. I'm going to go, oh man, shit. I'm going to go Ice Cube in Lollapalooza. He played the Death Certificate album, and I was like out of my mind watching him play that album.
Question 3, 10 seconds. Define what a successful life means to you.
Being able to take care of my family, having fun, living life.
Yeah, you and the people around you are happy every day.
Yeah, I would say to be able to love and protect your family, and to help as many people as you can, especially people who don't have a lot to help themselves. Obviously, I mean, NAS is my baby. So, what do you think?
Okay. Question 4. Who is the most handsome man on this call?
That would be me.
No, it's me. Are we supposed to all say Ed?
No. Wait, we're Ed's answer now.
The most handsome person on this call? I mean, Andres is not on this call, so obviously Andres. But I'd say probably Origin next. Oh, Wilko, you're a pretty good looking guy too. So
you got it right the first time.
Andres?
I just didn't count on the call. So
yeah, I gotta give it. You guys are younger than us, so you know what I mean. Yeah. Back in the day, I could give you guys a run for it, but I know I'm gonna go with Origin right now. Sorry, Will, you shouldn't ask the question you don't want the answer to.
You know what? He's a handsome man. I can't take it. Yeah, I would have gone Origin as well. I'm only joking. I would have gone me.
See.
Yeah, arrogant.
We're getting off track here because we still got question number 5. So, which band or artist, dead or alive, would you most like to see perform live that you haven't already seen?
That would be definitely the Blizzard of Oz lineup of Ozzy.
Tyler Childers. He's a bluegrass country artist.
Yeah, I got to go with the Beatles.
Yeah, that would be epic. I just want to say, I'm loving that. Is it a light or a mirror behind your head, Pedro? The purple thing behind you. What is it? I like it.
Oh,
It's definitely cool.
that's called a nano leaf. It just sticks. You can. It's modular, so you can add as many of the tiles as you want. You can program it and control it with your phone.
Nice.
You know.
Nice.
Yeah. And then there's like this cube thing
I think it's within the NAS budget that both you guys
that I can use to. This is the remote control that goes with it.
Nice.
Oh, this is cool, man.
Wilko and Origin. I think we need to give you guys some cash for something like this in the background. We can spruce it up a bit for the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we gonna mention that I'm wearing the NAS shirt like every goddamn day? Can we talk about merch for once? Like, I'm trying to sell here.
Do we get shirts for being on here, or
No? Have you guys got your shirt? Have you guys got your shirts yet? Wilko, Origin?
I've not received mine.
No.
All right, you got to get Virginia, please. Talk to Virginia ASAP. She has.
I'm supposed to get one for the baby. I'm supposed to get like a
Yes, that's right.
a onesie for the baby, and still haven't got that one. Now he's getting bigger, so now we're gonna need it to actually be like a baby size shirt.
Nice.
Shirt.
My mom even wants one.
Shirt.
They're like gold dust. I'm not surprised. They're the hottest fashion item.
Yeah, the design is actually Michael Sopolitos from NAS came up with this. This is awesome. It's pretty amazing what we have, guys. Seriously, have you ever thought about how many like different people with different talents outside of music that we have that have made this all come together? It's kind of insane when you think about what these last 3 years have been like. It's next level, honestly. Like if you think about our roster, I mentioned this the other day, the roster of artists we have, like put us up against any label. Like who has, I know everyone's going to say, oh, there's like this lower level, they're all just starting. But we were all just starting. You think about like the top level of what we have right now, any indie label, put us up against them.
I agree with you. Yeah, it's amazing. It's helped me so much as a musician, just being part of this community where I'm struggling with stuff. I can just throw a question out and I get an answer in minutes from somebody who is a master of their craft. Like it's, it makes signing for a label seem really uninteresting because what can they provide that New Artist Spotlight doesn't already provide me without skimming a load of the money that they make from it as well. And yeah, no, it's just it's been magic for me. And I've just like had another couple of collabs out with Arnaldo's Lizards and Water Ride, and working on tracks with other artists, and just worked with Andres on my album, and like my whole
kind of
has been like punctuated by New Artist Spotlight. So yeah, it's been great for me, man.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it kind of reminds me like of my day job in a way where it's like you show up to do what, the core activity is, but then you kind of realize that everybody around you has their own thing that they do, right? So like we're all in NAS for music, but then you have people who have skills in so many different areas and stuff like that. Like for work, it's so many people do real estate, or so many people they write books, or they're doing all these things that are not construction related, because I do construction management. And here it's like we're all here doing music, but we have people who genuinely work for labels, or people who have jobs doing just a gamut of things. And it's actually so cool because you can make a connection through music and then end up having an actual networking experience for something in life, which is just dope. And I don't know where else you find that.
I feel like there's two, like from working with other people who are musicians, Willie and Pedro, one of the things I wanted to do when we started NAS, one of the biggest things I wanted to do was to get around people who didn't see each other as, Ed the baseball guy or the construction guy, you know what I mean? And Wilko also does amazing work with kids and with mental health too, which is awesome. So, but we look at each other as musicians. And once you feel like you're a musician and you're talking to other people who feel like they're musicians, I don't know, I feel like there's like certain, like, we all have this connection where, it takes balls to get up there and and sing or put yourself out there and rap or whatever it is. Like there's a certain amount of nerve that comes with it. And there's like almost like a fraternity sorority of we have this thing inside of us. We want to share with other people. We really hope they like it. We're all a bit of like, we're all like, we want the spotlight, but we don't kind of thing, And I think that when you put those kind of creative people together and you put that energy together, it's going to make great things. You know what I mean? When you're taking energies from all around the world and you have like this united cause, I just feel like that's what kind of, you talk about what's a successful life. That is. helping each other, whatever's beating us down from the top, helping us rise above. I guess that's kind of what I feel like it does. We're all like, we're keeping the scuzzballs away as much as we can, and we're using this beautiful thing called music to like bring the rest of us up. That's kind of how I feel it.
I definitely have to agree with you. And as we come to a close here, I do want to give you guys an opportunity to let us know where we can find you, where we can find your music, and follow you, get in touch with you, all those things.
I have an Instagram. It's just James Carl Official. I will hopefully be releasing some original material on that when I finally actually record something and not just noodling in my bedroom. And hopefully on New Artist Spotlight.
Pedro, let's do it, man. Let's do it like an acoustic vocal thing. I'm in. I'll sing.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm looking for work also, on other projects.
We can get you that, Pedro. If you get in NAS, there's always a need for a guitar player, especially as good as you are and what you just did on this song. Willie too. Everyone needs a drummer, man. Anyway, sorry to interrupt that.
Willie, how about you?
Yeah, I don't have any site yet, but I definitely want to get hooked up more with Ed and Pedro and start doing some more stuff. I've got some stuff to send those guys, and always open to playing on anything. I like every single kind of music. Well, not every single kind, but just about every single kind. The last thing I'll say though is what you guys are doing or have done with NAS is amazing. I mean, I honest to God, I wish we would have had this 30 years ago, something like this, because in Pittsburgh, real quick, in Pittsburgh, there was a great music scene. And there was a lot of really, really good bands. Only a couple made it out of that scene. And I think if we'd have had something like this, a lot more bands would have made it and people would have gotten to hear their music. So just keep up the good work. I've really started following you guys and listening to a lot of the artists on there. And it's great. So, and thanks, Ed, for getting me into this.
Oh man, it's been awesome. Seriously, I was getting emotional at the beginning of this. Let's listen to you guys talk. I haven't heard you guys talk in 30 years. You know what I mean? I haven't heard your voices, and so it's crazy just to see and hear you guys. It's cool. I really do hope that the hog roast happens. And maybe if you guys play, you can let me come up and sing a song with you guys, so people can hear that I can actually sing in real life and not just the studio.
We need to do another one of these and just tell old stories about all the gigs, because there's some funny ones.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Man, Ed, where can the people find you?
People can find me on newartistspotlight.org. And they can also find, I should talk about, I just did a song that just came out recently, My Mortal Coil, with Brad from Mercury Teardrop. We talked a little bit about that. My brother-in-law, JHM, the guy who craps out 5 songs a day before he even gets out of bed, has sent me a new Two Odd Dog song that I haven't even had a chance to open yet, but he might have some new Odd Dog stuff coming soon, and a couple mods I've talked to and reached out to about maybe singing on their songs. I found that I've had very little time to play guitar lately, unfortunately, but singing is something I can do pretty quickly, so I'm trying to get as many songs out there as a guest vocalist as possible. So, and working with these guys, that's awesome. I'm glad to hear that Willie and Pedro are doing solo stuff, and if they want me to join in on them, I'm of course going to do it. Anyone else there? I put it out there. If my voice matches something you want, there's kind of a long waiting list now, but I'm down for working with everybody. Like I'm not going to charge $1 million like these greedy hosts of the NAS podcast. I'm in.
Greedy? That's a discount. What are you talking about?
I mean, like, I think Brad's giving me 80% royalties. I'm down with that. Like, but I'm like, no, just I waited so long to start doing this that I feel like I need to do it now. Like, let's go. I'm here. Let's sing.
All right. And after our few intermissions and hearing My Mortal Coil, I don't feel like I got much to worry about. I don't think I'm gonna have to go head to head with you like I had to go with Wilko. So
I'm not in your league even close.
I see what you did there, but you got your own lane, I got mine. I think we can coexist. You can keep running things. I'll do what I do. I'll keep posting.
You guys got to check out Origin if you haven't heard them yet, by the way, and Wilko. They're both like they're being modest here. I'm not saying it to be nice. I just would avoid the question if it wasn't. They're both legitimately outstanding rappers, and their personalities are amazing too, which is why I was hoping they would, before they weren't the original podcast hosts, but in my mind I'd always had them pegged as the next two if the spots opened up, and they've been crushing it on the show. So they've carried the show. They completely carry the show.
No, we appreciate that, Ed. I mean, you gave us the opportunity. We felt like it was only right for us to show up and show out. So
we did.
What we do. But all right, guys, I want to thank you guys for taking some time out of your day to jump on. I know, Ed, I know you were trying to join like an hour early, so I don't know if everybody had the time.
I know. I'm like,
I forgot. Well, in my defense, you moved from Detroit to Texas, and that's an hour difference. So I was still thinking. I know you've been living in Texas for over a year, but I was still thinking. I still think of you as a Detroit cat. So I was thinking 2:00 Eastern time.
And you always will.
Of course, I will.
It's like I will always think of myself as poor.
Thank you,
guys. Thank you for taking some time out of your day, hopping on. I know we usually wrap these up in like 40 minutes, but we had so much good content here. We were hoping to get so much dirt on Ed that we were willing to go for as long as it took. So
I'll email you.
I'm squeaky clean, man. I'm squeaky clean. I got out of that.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I'm still waiting on that payment to sign that NDA.
Yeah. Well, I need one too. Send it to me too.
You guys might want to lawyer up. I don't know this guy works in MLB, so go ahead and protect yourselves. But thank you, and then to everybody who's doing the work to help us grow as a community. Everybody who has us on playlists and radio and different stations. That everybody that's putting in the work for all the shows that we have. That's hosting the other podcasts. That's pitching in. All the moderators. Everybody that's just making our network what it is. We appreciate you guys. Thank you. Thank you guys for being on, and peace out.
Thanks.
Thank you.
New Artist Spotlight Podcast.